Growth of Tamil language and literature. Objectives. After reading this unit, you will be able to learn how old is the Tamil language and literature, what are the Tamil heroic poems, how were they composed and classified, what are their literary merits, and which are the other compositions of the period. Introduction. In the previous unit, you learned how settlements grew up, agriculture began to expand, and trade flourished in Tamilazakam. Trade begins in immigrants and open up avenues of interaction between local people and outsiders within the region. Interaction of cultures helps the growth of language and literature in a region. In this unit, you will be made familiar with the growth of the Tamil language and literature. Early evidences. Tamil had become a literary language, a full-blown language with its own system of writing, at least by 3rd century BC, if not earlier. The earliest evidence for the Tamil literary tradition, that is the tradition of writings in the language, comes from the Tamil Brahmi inscriptions in the Jain and Buddhist caves from the Tamil Brahmi hills. These inscriptions are in the form of labels of persons or bodies who donated the caverns. The major centers of these label inscriptions are Aritapatti, Mogulam, Madurai, Karungalakkutti, Melur, Madurai, Kongorpuliam, Kulam, Madurai, Azakaramalai, Madurai. Many Tamil words along with the local adaptations of Sanskrit and Prakrit Pali occur in the labels. Nigamattor, the member of the Nigaman, and Vanikan, he who is engaged in Vanibham trade, may be cited as two examples for the Tamil adaptations of the Sanskrit words. It has to be noted that the Tamil language used in these labels was different from the literary Tamil. The difference was due to the Jain and Buddhist immigrants from the north who were introducing a considerable number of Sanskrit and Prakrit Pali terms. These terms were adapted to suit the linguistic structure of the Tamil language. The combination of names of persons, professions, and places that figure in the inscriptions gives clues to the currency of Tamil as a literary language. The period of these label inscriptions is roughly between 200 BC and 300 AD. The Tamil heroic poems, popularly called the Sangam literature, constitute the major evidence for the old Tamil literary tradition. Heroic problems. The Tamil heroic poems. Tamil heroic poems are called the Sangam literature since they were collected and classified by the Sangam, which was an academy of scholars. Poems by themselves were not the product of the Sangam. The poems were, in fact, much earlier than the Sangam. The history of the Sangam is clogged in legends. Tradition says that there were originally 3 Sangams, among which the work of the last one alone have survived. Previously, it was believed that the Sangams were academies of court poets, but now it is a matter of consensus that they were constituted by scholars in literature. The time lag between the Sangam and the heroic poems shows that the name Sangam literature is a misnomer. By and large, the Tamil heroic poems were the products of the folk. They signify the tradition of bards who roamed about singing the praise of their patron chiefs. However, all the poetic compositions were not of wandering bards. Some of them were composed by scholarly poets who followed the bardic tradition. Kapilar, Paranar, Ayyavar, and Gautamanar were some of the well-known poets of the period. They were scholarly bards, namely the Pulavar as distinguished from the common bards, namely the Panar. It is thus not the literature of any particular social group, but part of a common way of life. Spanned over a few centuries, the poems reflect the gradual development of the Tamil language and literature. They survive not in their original independent form, but as classified anthologies or choice collections. Classification. Now we see the poems in the form of classified collections of specific poetic themes and conventions. Ettu Togai, or the 8 collections of poems, and Pattu Pattu, or the 10 idyllies, are the 2 categories of anthologies that comprise the heroic poems. Nari Nai, Kuruntukai, En Kurunuru, Patirupattu, etc. are the few examples of anthologies grouped under Ettu Tokai, Mulai Pattu, Maduri Kanj, Kurunji Pattu, etc. are the examples of anthologies under Pattu Pattu. The anthologies are divided into Akam, dealing with themes of subjective experience like love or affection, and Puram, dealing with themes of objectifications like raid or plunder. Both the above categories of anthologies comprise collections of poems based on Akam and Puram themes. Akananuru, a collection of 400 poems based on Akam themes, and Purananuru, a similar collection based on Puram themes, are two examples of Etutogai category. In the same manner, there are examples of both Akam and Puram anthologies in the Pattu Pattu category. Apart from the heroic anthologies, the classified corpus of Sangam literature includes Tolkapiyam, a treatise of Tamil grammar, and Patine Kinkanakku, the 18 didactic texts also. The famous Tirukural by Thiruvalluvar is one of the 18 didactic texts. Both Tolkapiya and Patinen Kankanakku were composed after most of the Etutogai and Pattu Pattu poems had been composed. The distinction and the techniques of composition of the heroic anthologies keep them distinct from other texts that are later. Techniques of composition. The heroic poems were composed on the principles of oral bardic literature. The features of oral compositions are strikingly similar all over the world. The use of stock phrases and expressions is the most important feature. Stock phrases or expressions are ready-made expressions or phrases current among the people of those times. The poets knew the context of the ready-made expressions and where to use them and how in their poems. Poems are composed using the set motifs or ready-made expressions in a formula that is orally transmitted and commonly shared by the bards as well as society. The set expressions required for poetizing the variety of contexts recur in the poems. For instance, if the context is to praise a chieftain, the series of stock forms like warrior of victorious lions, possessor of lofty chariots, chieftain of swift steeds, hero of eye-filling garlands, and so on, flow effortlessly, whoever the poet is or the chieftain. Their examples show that the bards just had to master such ready-made expressions and their contexts. This is not to minimize the individual poetic talents completely, but by and large, the most important aspect was not the individual style or expressions of the poets. The technique of versification in oral poetry depended on the general or common styles and expressions. It is a technique of combining the set phrases over which the poets as well as the society by and large had mastery. So there are repeated lines and themes with marginal modifications in different poems by different poets. The hereditarily transmitted stock phrases leave the bulk of heroic poems full of old memory. This is one of the many hazards in dating the poems. Problems of dating. The corpus of the Sangam literature cannot be precisely dated owing to a series of problems. In fact, several periods are represented in the poems of Sangam anthologies. One is the period of actual composition and oral transmission, which is fairly long and spread over a few centuries from about 2nd century BC to AD. 2nd century BC to AD, 3rd century. Next is the period of codification of the poems into anthologies, which is between circa 6th and 9th centuries. Another period is that of the commentaries, which are not earlier than 13th to 14th centuries. Tolkapiam, the traditional grammatical treatise, in its present form is not earlier than the 3rd century AD, though the basic parts of the text could be slightly earlier. All the Kiskanakku texts belong to a period later than 3rd century AD. The great difficulty in dating the Sangam literatures is that it is hard to clearly sort out the earlier from the later as they are all mixed up. The poetics. Based on the Sangam literature, they developed a fairly evolved set of poetic conventions, though the poetics as such as little later, the rules and conventions of compositions were part of the old Tamil bardic traditions. The two fundamental aspects of traditional Tamil poetics are the divisions of the composition into Akam and Puram genres. We have already noted with the Akam and what is Puram in a previous section. Akam is subdivided into 5 stages of love in relation to the 5 tinais. Each tinai is associated with a particular mood of love. For instance, The Palai is associated with the sentiment of separation of the lovers. The Puram genre of poems have their own tinais, that is situations, and turais, that is contexts. There are as many as 9 tinais and 63 turais, which the poets could opt for the compositions. Both the Akam and Puram genres of the poem followed the fixed conventions of each. Each Akam poem had to follow the notion of Tinai, which had its own deity, biological organisms, subsistence pattern, musical instruments, and songs. Similarly, each Puram poem had to abide by the restrictions associated with the variety of Tinais or situations of behavior. Literary development. The Tamil literary tradition is independent of the classical Sanskritic literary traditions of India. It represents a parallel linguistic tradition in relation to Sanskrit. However, the development of the Tamil language and literature was never a process in isolation. Even the earliest stratum of the Tamil literature contains influences of Sanskrit. The heroic poems and other Sangam works contain traces of Aryan culture. By Aryan culture, we mean Vedic ideas and institutions in this context. The tradition of Vedic rituals is well attested by the poems. Some of the bards like Gautamanar, Paranar, and Kapilar were Brahmins. Gautamanar is mentioned to have officiated many Velvi, that is Yajna or Vedic sacrifice, for his patron Kalkezu Kuttuvan, Chera chief. Epic and Puranic ideas are also seen in the Tamil heroic poems. While praising the patron chiefs, the poets refer to the farmers' participation in the Mahabharata battle. Many Puranic deities are equated to their Tamil counterparts. Mayon, the black god, Mayon, well known in the poems as the Tamil counterpart of Krishna, is one example. But these influences never undermined what was typical of the Tamil literary tradition. This original aspect of the Tamil language and literature does not owe to Sanskrit for its origin, but its growth and development toward linguistic and literary perfection certainly owes to the influences of Aryan culture. The heroic poems and other works of Sangam tradition testify the widespread literary culture of early Tamizakam. They also indicate the linguistic maturity achieved by the Tamils by the 3rd century. Other compositions. The basic parts of Tolkapiyam and some of the Kiskanakku texts constitute the other compositions here. These are called the other compositions because they do not belong to the bardic traditions of heroic poems, but they are not far removed from the literary background of the bardic tradition. The Poruladi part of Tolkapiyam that deals with the Akam and Puram conventions of Old Tamil is close to the period of heroic poems. Similarly, the Tinai texts and words like Kalavazi are relatively earlier. Though some scholars regard the twin epics Silapadigaram and Manimekkalai as contemporaneous to the heroic poems, they are identified as works of a much later period. Let us sum up. In this unit, you learnt about how old the Tamil literature is and what it is constituted by. You also learnt about the main features of heroic poems, their techniques of composition and problems of dating. Another point you learnt was the level of literary and linguistic development of Old Tamil. You could also understand how the works in Old Tamil were classified and codified into the anthologies during the Sangam period. Sangam, Akam होता है कि a genre of poems dealing with subjective experience like love. Puram होता है a genre of poems dealing with objectifiable experience like raid or plunder. Bard, he who roams about composing and singing poems in praise of his patrons. Turai, a poetic convention indicating the thematic situation of Puram poems. Didactic, poetry or text which intends to teach moral lessons is called didactic poetry or text.